Arguing to grow business? Yeah, I know it sounds crazy, right? But hey, we all been there, right? When you truly are passionate about something and your direct supervisor or your direct report is like arguing with you and kind of give you different feedback than what you want outside of just go do. But you come later on and are very thankful and grateful that they actually did approach you and they actually did address, or you actually went to your higher up. And it was actually an idea or a concept or something that needed to be vocal, that someone needed to be vocal about to avoid the business, costing the business a lot of money, right? We don't like to talk about it. We kind of like to think business is all about holding hands and kissing babies and all that stuff, which there is a component in that as well. But here's the thing. A good friend of mine's, Coach Danton Jackson, always says, we need to learn to celebrate our differences, right? I think we kind of got into society where if something bad happens, that either we want to crucify them or we want to find sympathy for them. And I think it's important to, like, obviously have your emotions tied to wherever it is that happened, but find a way to address and improve and move forward. Address, improve, and move forward. One of the things that a recent issue that's came up was Netflix produced a show called Cuties. It's 11-year-old girls, and pretty much it's very interesting. I haven't seen it, but from what I've read on articles describing it, very interesting. I have a 7-year-old daughter. She'll be 8 in December, and I would definitely not. I would avoid having her on a show like that. And even though I definitely think that someone in Netflix executive team messed up, or maybe the whole company messed up and think that was going to be a good deal, somebody should have spoke up with it, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, we like to think that disagreements is bad, but it's just truly not. I mean, if you really feel passionate about something, you definitely need to vocalize it, but it's a way to do it. How many times have you heard somebody say, well, I'm just going to keep it real. I'm being honest with you. And within that, they feel like that's a license for them to just say anything and everything. But when you're running a business, you can't do that, right? Like, you need to be honest. You need to be direct. You need to be forthcoming. However, but it's a way of doing it. And I think for some reason, I don't know if it's social media. I don't know if it's just you've always had people like this since the beginning of time. But we need to find a better way to communicate with each other, because something like this with Netflix should have never even, the idea initially probably may have sounded good to be, Cuties, but the production of it, somebody in that RAM should have stopped the video and said, all right, guys, this is enough, shut it down, okay? So, and I'll say this, the reason why I think I'm stressing it in this video, one, because of the whole Netflix deal with Cuties, but also that people need to understand whether you are a business owner, an exec, or just a frontline employee, the success of the business is determined by everyone who's working, period. Like, you can't go in there and say, oh, that's somebody else's job, because guess what? If that other person's not doing their job effectively or right, they can cause the company to go down or be annihilated. For example, I always use the analogy of the story of Blockbuster. There had to be somebody in the research and development team and say, hey guys, this new wave of video and home viewing is coming along. And I want to say not Netflix, but Blockbuster had a shot at Netflix or Hulu at its early stages and turned it down. So even with conceptualizing, you got to be honest. You have to understand that it's important to speak up, but do it in a way. And I'll say, if business is also incumbent on a business owner or executives to create a environment for people to speak up, okay? Because I get it. I've been there. I am there. You running 10,000 miles per hour. You got 20,000 things to do. But here's the thing: that one little thing can be the tipping point. Malcolm Gladwell says it best that tipping point can be something that can diverge you from being successful today to not successful. So it's this one luxury luggage company a couple years ago that was featured on Oprah. And Oprah, she comes out with this top 10 or 20 things that Oprah likes a year or whatever. And this luggage company was on it. If you guys do your research, you'll find out about it. Find out what luggage company I'm talking about. And sales soar. She said, I love this luggage. It had a battery in it, kind of different options on it, whatever. So the sales of luggage soared. What happened later on is the company was doing well, but then it was a mandate that the airlines, FAA, said that the battery in the luggage had to be removed. The small battery, charging battery for your computer, iPhone, or whatever, had to be removed. Well, this luggage company didn't have the option. And just based on that alone, that company went down because they had so many luggage and they couldn't sell it. It wasn't like it was just a defect. It was, what can you do? And so I think it's important to have people who, I like to say, that's on top of the tank, I guess, or on top of the ship, where you got the guy steering, you got the captain steering, you got the people rowing, or you got the people in the back kind of doing their thing. But you need to have somebody of strategic foresight that's looking down the road and say, well, the possible issues that we're dealing with. But then also, you need to have the person who's driving and the people who are rowing or people who are making what needs to happen right now listen. Because if you don't, you have an issue like that. And that's why I try to tell people about tipping points. So you have to create an environment for people to argue or disagree. And so how to argue in business. Okay, let's keep it simple. Have a system in place for everyone to voice their opinion, whether it's verbally, written, whatever, emails, whatever. This is just key. Because I'm telling you guys, this is what makes your company a 100-year company, a 50-year company, or a 1-year company, period. You got to be able to listen to what the market's telling you and what your employees telling you. Second is, give specific times where people can engage in dialogue. They simply just say, okay, this is the edict and this is the act we're going to enforce without getting any kind of feedback from everyone. It's not going to work. Have a response. This third thing I'll say, have a response to those verified opinions. Because, and I say verified, right? Because everybody's opinions are like, heads. And everybody knows what else you could put in there or what they typically say. Everybody has one. But you got to have a way for people who actually voice genuine concerns or genuine ideas, you need to have a way for them to voice it by have some way to respond to it. Whether it's, hey, Jimmy, that's a great idea. Let's talk about it. Come meet with the leadership team or what have you. And then fourthly, I would say is, lastly, implement it. Like, one thing I hate more than anything is sitting there talking about something for hours on end and not implementing it. Find ways to sit there and, even if it's from a small details or something like that, find ways to just implement it. Because then that way, people feel like they work with a company that actually hear them, that works with them. So, how to argue in business. Have a system in place. Give a place for people to have dialogue about it. Have a response to it. And fourth, implement some of those ideas. Obviously not going to implement everyone because some going to be costly, some just not going to make sense. But at least you give everyone in the company or organization a feeling of, hey, they're being heard, but also it could help you to live a long life in business. This is Ryan Rice, logging off to you. Thank you guys for watching. Follow me on my social media campaigns. So it's a social media platforms. Get Rice Now. That's GETRICENOW. You guys have a great day.